Good morning. My name is Mike Culbertson and I'm Sam's dad, and what a privilege it is for me to stand here and in front of all you. When Sam was asked to give his a speak in front of everyone, I stopped and I said, wow, nowhere in Summit County, nowhere in Ohio, nowhere maybe in the world that we have over 300 people that are dedicating their lives to the greatest commandment that we are called to do, is to love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Man, that is so powerful. And I am just amazed that, and I'm going to embarrass Allison. Allison, your words didn't make it to the cut on this video, and I'm going to say her words that didn't make it. Said, when I saw Sam, and when I read what he wanted to do at college, I saw myself in him, and I said, I will make this happen. And that love that Allison showed for Sam to help him is the same love and dedication that I see among us all right here. And that's so encouraging. And I just want to say that, just to give you a little history of us, is that we adopted 3 children, my wife and I, from Calcutta, India, and all of them are supported through Summit DT. So I appreciate that. Even my parents right here, my sister has been supported for over 50 years. So it warms my heart. So I believe this is truth. When I adopted Sam from Calcutta, I said, this is a young man that he hears the voice of God. And I said, we need to call him Samuel, because in the Bible it says Samuel heard the voice of God. So we called him Samuel. And here, 20 years later, he has been hearing the voice of God, and he loves to be a difference, make a difference in people's lives. And it's just an example. Many years ago, we were in and I know you don't remember this, Sam was in a doctor's waiting room, and he was laughing. He has a very contagious laugh. He was laughing, and we were sitting there, Jill and I, and I was looking, and Sam had his legs, his feet strapped in. He had ankle braces, leg braces, straps on his knees, harness on his chest, straps on here, brace on his hand, head at rest, holding his head up, and he was laughing. And a mother and daughter came over and said, your son has made such an impact in our day today because of the joy he has. And I thought that very moment, Sam's body may be imprisoned, but his soul is free. And that just encouraged me. And so even all these years later, he never questioned God about his physical issues, never about the bitterness of his physical challenges. But God has blessed him in an awesome way with a keen mind and a great personality and an awesome memory. And Sam and I like to talk about this a lot. In the Bible, people talk about why do people with disabilities go through what went wrong? And this is the interesting thing. Jesus said that, and let me get it from John 9, it says, it's not that this man or his parents did anything wrong, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. And that is such a powerful way to go through the challenges of life. And so last year was a challenging year. Both my wife and my son went through cancer treatments for the whole year. That was dark days. But there's also bright days when Sam crossed the stage at Kent State and he graduated. But the interesting thing, no matter what day it was, no matter what type of day it was, bright or dark, Sam kept the faith and continued to encourage many others in his life journey. So with that being said, I'm proud to introduce to you Sam Culbertson.
myself. For those who do not know me, I was born with cerebral palsy in Kolkata, India. I grew up in an orphanage the first 4 years of my life. I do not remember much about India, but I do remember living in the orphanage with other children my age. In February 2003, my life changed forever when my parents adopted me. My life was changed because of technology and God. Technology allows me to live with freedom without someone helping me all the time. God has a plan for me from the beginning. He knows what challenges that I will face, and I will be used by Him. God uses our challenges to give glory to Him and show others that anything is possible in life through Jesus Christ. I also am a big sports guy, but my favorite sport is baseball, followed by basketball, then college football. When I was younger, I watched baseball first with my family, attended to Cleveland Indians and Akron Aeros games. My love for baseball did not come right away. However, when I had multiple hip surgeries and had to stay home from school, I had nothing to do. My parents would turn on the replays of the game for me every morning. Since then, I have been watching every game and rarely miss it. Since 2012, my dad and I have had season tickets right behind home plate. I also have different unique hobbies besides sports. I love to travel, but there are limits where I can go with my wheelchair and using the restroom. I would like to go back to my home country where I came from and experience what life I had before I came here to the United States. I would love to travel to Europe to learn about the history and culture and eat their cuisine. I enjoy transposing music to listen to. I am a bit of a gamer as well. Transposing music is moving the notes of a melody on the music sheet to different software. I essentially shifted the whole song from the sheet to the software. I transposed over 400 songs and arrangements in the music software on my iPad. Some songs are hymns, worship songs, Disney, and more. I would add the notes one by one, and it took me a few hours to complete each song. I am also very competitive with any games that are physical board and card games and online games. Last year I had an opportunity to speak at my church to share about my faith in front of 500 people. Speaking to people is hard for me because my communication is not easy to understand. I used my iPad to communicate with the congregation. In fact, in the Bible, God uses different people to communicate His word throughout history. God uses Moses to speak to Pharaoh about the plagues and let the people go. However, Moses did not communicate well either. God provided Aaron, his brother, to speak for Moses. God gave me the technology that I need to be able to communicate with other people. I grew up with new technology when I was a child. I had challenges with doing homework assignments on my own. I had to learn how to handwrite on paper. I also had challenges with communication skills. My parents advocate for me and help me when I need and also many of the things I want. When I got my first iPad that the school district bought me, I was stubborn about changing my routine and thought I did not need it. However, I did adapt to using the iPad for school, work, and to communicate with people better with the technology. I did not realize how much quality of life was being improved because of the iPad. By using the iPad, I did not have to write with a pencil for assignments anymore because I could do it by touching the keyboard on the screen. In high school, the school district bought everyone a laptop computer for having schoolwork done online and other educational purposes. By having a laptop, I could easily do schoolwork myself more efficiently and effectively without having an aide helping me all day. The laptop also helps me to multitask between my computer and iPad so that I can do things faster in timing matters. When I graduated from high school in 2018, I decided to take the extra years to do a vocational program at Kent Roosevelt High School for Sports Management, and I loved it. I was able to do an internship at Woodridge High School with the athletic department by taking tasks like updating the school athletic website, researching old school records, and then scheduling other games by emailing other schools to ask what days were available for them. In the second year, I took college classes online at Kent State University through the College Credit Plus program at my high school. That would lead me to making my decision to pursue my degree at Kent State. I have applied for the University of Akron, Wright State University, Edinburgh University, Kent State University, and other colleges, which all accepted my applications. I decided to go to Kent State because I wanted to be close to home and far enough away I could be more independent and being able to live on campus. When coronavirus hit, everyone shut down, and I was forced to live at home with my family for the next couple semesters. I had to adapt to taking college courses online because I was not able to go on campus because of the pandemic. When I needed to take college classes in person, I had to seek help to be on campus. When I first got an email from Allison Taylor, I knew she would help me to achieve my dream. I told her the challenges of going to college and living on campus. She said we will figure out a way for me to live on campus because of her experience with it as well. Allison has some issues as me when she was in college. For example, she had to figure out what bus to take and which mobility device she needed to use and to get around campus. When I had to take classes in person, Allison and I were discussing providing help for me when I was on campus. We interviewed independent providers who could help me out on campus. During the first interview, Allison and I knew the provider was exceptionally good and that she set the bar high for us on how we should interview other providers. We did not find any more providers until after the spring semester of my junior year in college. My dad had to drive me to school every day for classes because I did not have any providers wanting to drive me there and back. During the summer, Allison and I interviewed multiple providers, but had not made any progress on who would help me on campus. My mom was beginning to feel increasingly concerned that I would not have enough support for living on campus. I waited patiently for God's plan for me on what providers could help me. Right before the beginning of the school year, God answered prayers and provided me with 4 good providers. I could not ask for a better team of support than this. During the spring and summer of 2023, while I was in college, I asked Allison if Summit BB would fund a new laptop computer for me since my other laptop was worn out and the battery life got worse. There were some headaches on getting a new laptop. I told her that I would want to do getting on it, and I told her I need Microsoft Office to do school work and a job in the future. We tried to buy the laptop from the manufacturer directly twice, but it was canceled because they did not think we bought it from them. Allison and the team decided to buy it from Best Buy because they did not want any more headaches from the manufacturer. Gaming allows me to connect with people who have a similar interest. I can build cities, flight planes and flight simulators, and other casual games. During my time in college, I had to figure out how much time I would need to go to classes and eat meals and social activities. I also had to figure out when I needed to go to the restroom and go to the doctor when I got sick. I had figured out how to call and email for a bus ride to classes and social events off campus. Summit DD and Kent State Student Accessibility Services work together in helping me to live on campus. First, Kent State helped me to find the right dorm room to live in. It was a challenge to have enough space for my chair and my mobile lift to accommodate in the room. At the first building we looked at, it felt old and dark and not easily wheelchair accessible. In the building, we looked at a single-person room, and it was tiny and felt uncomfortable and barely enough to turn around in a wheelchair. Then we looked at the second building called Centennial Courts, which looked very nice and bright. Inside the building, we looked at a two-person's bedroom and saw it had enough space for all of my belongings. Kent State put an automatic door opener in my dorm room so I can go out in case of an emergency. However, in the first week before the school year began, the battery died very quickly. On that Friday morning, my provider was locked out of the room and could not get me ready for school. My provider called some people to get help, but could not get a hold of anyone. Eventually, they called the police to open the door. They did not know I was in my room waiting for help. The locksmith said he would help me anytime because I was family for him. My uncle is close friends with him, and I told him that story. Kent State had to move the card reader and block some signals so that the door and the reader could not constantly communicate with each other all the time. Also, in my dorm by my bed, I had a remote support system through the night every night. I honestly did not like it because the light of the device stayed on for the whole night, and we did not communicate well enough. Sometimes we misunderstood each other. I did not sleep well either because I felt like they constantly watching me every night. I was so glad when the school year ended. I did not need it anymore because I could sleep in my own bed and room, and I do not have to listen to other people at night. In May, I graduated from Kent State University with a degree in sports administration. It would not be possible without the help and support of Allison and Summit DD. They helped me to achieve my dream of graduating from college. During my senior year, I made new friends and connections. I joined a Bible study group and a Christian organization called Crew that met every week. I increasingly grew more in my faith in my time in college. This experience has led me to share my testimony with my church. During the fall and spring semesters, the church was teaching in the book of Acts about being on mission for God. When the church was ending the series of Being on Mission, they asked people to share their stories about how God was working in their lives and spreading the news about Jesus. The church asked me to share my story about how I shared the gospel to my friend. The gospel is the good news of Jesus Christ's life, death, and the resurrection. I said yes to speak. I used my iPad so that everyone could understand me. I was honestly nervous about speaking in front of people. It went well. I shared my testimony about being on campus and showing the light to others in public spaces. I pre-typed the words into answers even when it is not easy. A person with disabilities can do anything if they put their mind to it. For me, I had to learn how to advocate for myself for what I want and need. Inclusion is important in the community because we can make changes to include diversity and make everyone feel welcome and valued. When we have empathy for others, we tend to value others more. When I valued my community, I wanted to bring a positive impact. Everyone says that I have a great smile. Everyone also says that I have a positive attitude even though I have challenges. When I put my faith in Jesus, I have peace knowing that He loves me and wants me to show others the light, and anything is possible with Him. Accessibility is important because it allows people to have the right to take part in social activities in the community and the workspace. Accessibility is defined differently by the needs of the individuals. Accessibility allows everyone to be more independent. For me, the access to technology allows me to be more independent, whether it involves computers, communication, or even wheelchairs to do different tasks. People with different disabilities need different things to live independently. For example, if someone is visually impaired, they need braille to read, cane to walk, curb ramps on sidewalks, or may need a narrator on the screen to speak to them. Trusting in God has helped me to walk in Him and guide me to getting help from Summit PD. He helped provide me with finding good providers the last couple years and living on campus. God blessed me with technology so that I could communicate and have interactions with people. My advice to those who have disabilities is do not be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help early so that you do not have to wait for the last minute, which I did. It is very important to seek help early because you're being humble allows other people helping you and not doing it yourself. A verse from the Bible says that, now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. To Him be glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians 3:20 and 21n. Through Jesus I can do anything for His glory. Through Him I have the confidence that He provides me with blessings, joy, and people that I need in my life. Thank you again for allowing me to share my journey with you, and I hope everyone have a wonderful day.